So, I have a friend, a very good one that lives in Australia. He's a Peugeot, the Citroen mechanic or technician. So, each time we are discussing, chatting, in whichever social media platform, he will always be telling me how good Peugeot 504, 505 shock absorbers are. You know, and of course I do also acknowledge that, and you know and yeah, made him realize that yes, I have experienced it when I had my 504 GL and still do with my 505. But but I think I usually will focus, or I've never actually paid attention to what he actually meant. I'll always be just look at it generally, the entire suspension, but not looking specifically at the dampers. So it was recently, since this weekend, a few days ago, which I started using my 505 again, doing it for some days now. And I started getting, paying attention, and now realize what he has been telling me. The way, yeah, I understand the 505 suspension setup, the way, he handle so stuff like that. But that's when I'm driving on rough road, speed bumps. Well, I mean speed bumps, there are these sharp small speed bump, not the big one that you can climb without feeling much. But all these small sharp ones that, I mean, that looks like um it's trying to remember this thing, they usually be on the side of the road. I've forgotten. Maybe I'll remember it later. So why doing with why driving my other Peugeots, every other person's Peugeot car that I've driven or test driven, both of course, mostly modern ones. The newest, I'm talking about even the up to 2017 models. So once I get to that kind of road condition, pothole, sharp speed bumps, I will always feel it, no matter how slow. I drop the vehicle speed to climb those potholes or speed bumps. You will feel some impact. No matter how good or new these shock absorbers in these vehicles or it doesn't matter. You will still feel, the car will, of course, the shock absorber, the suspension will take some absorption, but you still feel it inside. you know. So before, I think at that time when I will always assume, okay, uh, my other Peugeot cars mostly are low profile tires. You understand? So, which of course could be the case. But then recently I now started thinking, even my 505 has a low profile tire. Okay, not so low, but at least not so high, so you can still classify them because it's almost like close to that of my 406. This is so, I mean, the 505 is 195 60 15. you know. So when you look at it, you can't actually call it a high profile tire, even though it's not within the 40, like 195 50, 195, but it's not that high, you know. However, like I said, I've driven other Peugeot cars that are not even mine with high profile tires. I'm talking about even the CUVs, van. Yeah, van, not just, I mean, 807, 3008. These cars have high profile tires. But guess what? I still feel those bumps. But when I'm driving my 505, as in, you drive on both tools as if you're on a level load. that smooth road. Of course, you see know that okay, you are driving on rough road, but you hardly feel any form of impact. As in, the steering stays rigid. As in, you even feel as if you had anything happen to the vehicle, that the tire climbed anything. The steering still remain the same, almost the same. It may not be this, exactly, but almost the same way you are driving on rough road. Your seat, the seat where you are sitting on feels nothing. You won't even feel anything on your body. Every part of the car still stays as quiet as it will be while driving on smooth road. I mean, so that was how how occurred to me. This is exactly what this my friend in Australia has been telling me. So as old as these cars are, unfortunately, Peugeot has never, I don't think they've ever been able to reproduce another. Not the suspension now. I will just go focus to a part of the suspension, which is the shock absorbers or dampers. They've not been able to do it so good like the older ones. Yes, you could say the newer ones, modern Peugeot cars have more performance wise. Maybe the suspension or the shock absorber, so they may serve you better on a very high speed and stuff like that. So yeah, in that case, you say that's the advantage they have over this 505. When I'm talking 505, I'm actually talking about both 504 and 505, because their suspension or the shock absorber are basically the same. I'm not saying identical, but yeah, they are the same. You'll be surprised some can even interchange them without even knowing the difference. So they are designed, they behave the same. So I'm talking about these two cars now. So yes, I mean, no, this car, I'm doing this video to appreciate Peugeot 505 shock absorbers. Yeah, suspension, yeah, but specifically the shock absorbers, how good these shock absorbers are. I mean, I've never replaced my. I know it's very funny, but I've never replaced any of my shock absorbers in this vehicle you are looking at on the picture. This car has been with me since when 2011 January. I would say 2010, but let's just say it was delivered to me in January 2011. So even though I ordered it in 2010. So ever since then, no. The only thing I know I've done twice, one of the shock absorbers in the front started leaking oil. So I rebuilt it, because they did it. That's the good part of it. They did it for it to be rebuilt or refurbished. You don't need to replace anything. So all I needed, I did the kit, which didn't cost me more than 2,000 naira. That was in 2012, I think, 2012. So sometime last year, while I was doing this project, the SN1A to the ZN3J engine project. So while I was doing that on this same vehicle, so I now noticed the second one, because I did only on one shock absorber. That's the front driver's side. As yeah, that was the one I rekitted in 2012. I came back for, but the other one now, the passenger one, the one on the right side in the front, I observed that it has started leaking as well. So I decided, you know what, there's no point doing one. Let me just do the two at the same time. Even though the one I did in 2012 is still in good condition. But so let me do the two at the same time, so that they will last and last me basically the same time. So how much did it cost me to do the two last year? About 3,500 naira for everything. Buy the sail, buy ATF, remove, change the sail, put another one, put everything back, and that was it. This vehicle is about how many years old now? About 6 years. I mean, it's come on. No, Peugeot did marvelous job on the Peugeot 505. and which I will also say, like I said, when I'm trying to 5, I'm also talking about 504. So kudos to Peugeot, and I really appreciate mine and I enjoy it. It's something I enjoy that none of my other Peugeot cars has been able to provide for me. As good as their own suspensions are, or shock absorbers are, but none of them is as durable as not just durable, as also cheaper to use or maintain compared to the other ones that are not repairable. Once they are done, you throw them away, and they also not don't last as good as this one. So, and also they are not as good as this when it comes to absorbing potholes, the shocks that comes when you are climbing potholes, to the point that honestly I have a habit that once I come to a pothole or a rough road, I reduce my speed drastically. But when I'm driving the 505, because it's already a habit, so I'll do the same, I'll reduce my speed. But I always ask myself, it's pointless. That's how good these shock absorbers are, or these their suspension. It's as if it's pointless, because even when you try to sometimes to increase the speed a little, I still feel nothing. I don't know how they did this. No, it is that good. No, but your 505 suspension or shock absorber, they are that good in doing the work produce them for, compared to these newer ones. No matter how good these newer ones, you feel them. As you are driving, you feel all the bumps. Reality, it may not be as bad as when the shock absorber is bad. The feel of those bumps, but this ones is as if it's non-existent. So people who are probably don't have these cars or never experienced, they will not understand. Now I might be saying, but you entered few in the past, maybe people that use it for taxi or commercial that don't even care when their shock absorber fails. I'm talking about 504. Yeah, you might feel, in that case, you might feel some of those bumps, or their bushings, suspension bushings and stuff like that have failed, and they are just like, I'm talking about like the ones that are still in conditions like mine. Everything, part of the suspension, the shock absorber, the ball joint, the bushings, every part of this thing are still intact or being maintained with good quality parts. You hardly feel anything. So that's how good they are. So I appreciate Peugeot 505 and also Peugeot 504 suspension setup, specifically their shock absorbers, and something I am happy that I'm living to experience it once more, which I did in the past and kept doing up till now. And anybody who have the opportunity to have one, honestly, don't look back. Let's maybe financial constraint. These are great cars. If you are looking at external validation that people will laugh at you to own a car, then you can as well go back to your mother's womb, because I don't know what kind of adult you are. An adult male you are when you are you buy a car for people to like you, or for people to hail at you that you drive modern car. But I understand not everybody is a car person anyway. So some people just want point A to point B, or a car that seek for external validation, or make people to like them, or make people to accept them. So in that case, when they see people like us that drive this vintage or older Peugeot cars, they will feel that something is wrong with us, or they will feel, no, this you know this man is a Jew or a poor man. Yeah, I could use that word. Yeah, they do refer some of us as poor men who couldn't afford newer cars. I don't know. So if you are not such people, don't even bother watching this video, or any of you of my video that that have the title put your 504 or 505. They are not for you. Just go to the other ones and watch. Okay, that's all for this video.